Okie dokie. In this video, we're taking a look at tracking custom events with Fathom Analytics. So Fathom Analytics, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I've recently started using it. Really nice bit of kit. I'd recommend it to anyone who doesn't really want to be giving their site data away to Google. But what I'm here to talk about today is tracking things like button clicks on the site, because Fathom Analytics will track things like your where your traffic's coming from, what your popular page is, things like that. But for specific things, you have to do something for in Fathom called setting a goal. So we're going to look at doing that in a Gatsby template. I had Jody Lecomte on Twitter suggest that I use this Gatsby Starter Business. And we're just going to go through setting up Fathom Analytics first of all, I guess. Then using a custom a context, using React context to make the like the analytics provider available throughout the site. But first, we're going to need to clone this and install it. So I'm going to need a terminal over here, and we'll say git clone listing, and then we will make this a bit bigger, and we'll go to Fathom Analytics. So this is I've set up a dummy account, put in my card details. And we can start adding our sites to this. But first of all, we need to configure our project we just done. So that'll be Gatsby Starter Business. Let's change to that. Okay, let's open up not that code. Sorry, code is letter C is my alias for Visual Studio Code, and that OBS code was basically just for larger fonts and things like that. So you can see it better on video. Okay, so now we've got this downloaded. Let's go ahead and install that. And while we're waiting for that to do its thing, we should take a look at the Gatsby plugin Fathom. And then get that configured as well. So Gatsby plugin Fathom. Having problems with my internet for some reason. Things are just really slow at the moment. Okay, so basically we're just going to have this configured, and we have our site ID for our site. So where's it gone? Let's go to Fathom Analytics, and what was the site called? It was called Gatsby Starter Business. So let's call it okay, and then this is going to generate a code for us, which really is just this here. Let's just copy that. Didn't do a very good job of copying that one bit. Oh, here it is, just the site ID. That's all we need. Let's close that, and let's go to our code here, and we'll go and configure Gatsby plugin Fathom. Go to the bottom here. I think Gatsby plugin Netlify might need to be the very end of the list. Sure if there's that's still the case, but let's just take a look at how we're going to configure this. So we're going to say resolve Gatsby plugin Fathom. And then this has some options as well, which are site ID. And for now, just put it in like that. You might want to use like a process environment variables. So something along the lines of tidy .env something like that. Excuse me, but for the purposes of this demo, we're just going to do it like that, I think. Check on where we are, we're done. So let's go and yarn develop. And we'll spin that up, and that's our plugin done. What we want to do now is, not in there, Scott, in our source, we want to create a context in a contexts folder, I guess, and we'll call this something like event tracking. But because we'll call it event tracking, give it a generic name, because we could use it for both Fathom and Google Analytics, so you're sort of transitioning from the two. We could sort of cater for both of them at the time. So in here, we're going to want to import React from React, and then we're going to want to have a context. So we're going to want to say in here, create context, and then we're also going to want to use context. And for when we are in developing, we're going to want to have a use effect, just to pick off when we are in development mode, basically. So if I sort of built this now, pushed it up to Netlify, up to the hosting provider, and then went to the dev tools and looked at the terminal, I'd have Fathom exposed as a sort of global variable, and basically that's what we're going to be doing from here. We're going to be passing the events to, well, this is going to be the provider, so we're going to provide context throughout the app. So we're going to want this as high up the like the componentry as possible. But before we go any further, we want to have provider, context, and that's going to be create context, and it's just going to be empty object, Scott, and then our provider. Which is going to take in children. Let's go to your functions. Yeah. So when we're sort of developing, we want to detect if Fathom is on the window object, and then we're going to pass our variables to it for tracking our goals. So we look at the setting goals here. So this Fathom, which is part of the like a global function, and then we're going to pass it track goal, and then the goal ID, and then we can use this other parameter, this other part for like tracking values. Where is that? It does it in Sense. So for now, we just want to get the provider set up. So we're going to want to say obviously we're going to want to have something which is going to log clicks. It's going to be a function again. And then in here we're going to pass a goal ID. And then this is just going to pass that to the window. It's going to be Fathom. And then we're going to say track goal. And then we're going to pass in the goal ID and the value for that goal. Okay, and then we want to return our analytics context provider. Context provider with the value of log clicks. So we're going to pass that down to all of the child elements of that, which we're going to put in here. Cool. And then we just want to have a hook at the side of this, which we're going to export as well. Use analytics. It's going to be a function. I'm just going to say return, use context, and it's going to be the analytics context. Cool. Hit save. Take a look. Oh yeah, so I put in the use effect React, where we were going to track when the window is undefined, basically, so when we're in development mode. But for now, let's just go to our terminal. I will find Gatsby plugin Fathom. Okay, I need to install that. While that's installing, save this. I think we're going to build this as well. So let's split this screen here. If I do Control-A in Tilix, I can sort of split my screen. Okay, so we want to build. Let's say, down here we're just going to say yarn develop. On. Hypos, wow, yarn develop. Cool. And then up here we're just going to say yarn build. And we're going to push this up to Netlify. So I've got the Netlify CLI installed on my machine globally, so I can just say Netlify deploy, I think, and it's going to push it straight up to Netlify for us, so we can check we can check that Fathom is available on the like as a global variable in the window. Problems here. Message file directory. F404 page. Okay, I'm guessing this is probably me building this and trying to run a dev server at the same time. Let's just oh, and I cancelled the wrong one. Let's cancel that. Go back to building this again. Okay, so now we should have well, we can start using our context here. We can start using this throughout the app now. So we want to just have this analytics provider as high up the component tree as possible in React. So I'm not terribly familiar with this this template here. So let's just take a look at this one. So we've got some links up the top here. And what I'm going to do with Fathom is just set up a goal for each one, the contact form as well, and on the submit form as well. So we're going to go through those 3 bits. So we're going to want to have our analytics provider available to all of these parts and to this submit button here. So highest up the component tree, if we were using MDX or had a root wrapper, we could put it in now. But with Gatsby, it's usually via your index page. We don't seem to have one here. We've got an index.md, but it's not MDX, so I can't really put components into that. So that leaves something like a layout wrapper we've got here. So I'm going to say in here, analytics provider, and my VS Code's imported it for me up here. Also imported it. You could use Code Sandbox for this demonstration. Like I said, with my issues I've got with internet at the moment, I think it's best that I do this locally, just for my convenience, basically. So this is all perfectly achievable via Code Sandbox as well. So we've got our analytics provider quite high up the component tree here. So basically anything which is being wrapped is all of the content here, this.props.children. So the analytics provider should be able to be used, consumed lower down in the app there. So let's just take a look at still building our app here. So while that's doing its thing, let's take a look around. So we want something like navigation, navbar, index. So query here. Want to have, here we go, about. So really what I want to do is wrap this up in some curly braces here, and then say we're going to return this, and then we're going to import, now we're going to have const Fathom Analytics. It's going to equals our hook we made, use analytics, and it's auto imported for us again here from context. If we hit save on that, and then we should be able to, where is about, here it is, in our link here, just say on click, and then we want to return function, not 90. Let's I'll do this again. Yep, okay, cool. So we want to return our Fathom Analytics. Oh no, we don't. It's just I was going to say .log navigation, but in log clicks, but that's just been passed in as function we're going to describe up here. So should just be FA, and then Fathom Analytics, and then this will be our code, code for goal. Save that, and then on clicking that should then submit that information to our event tracker here, which will put it on the window. Cool. So let's see where we are with our build. Got it all up and running. So we'd say netlify deploy, and then that should just push up our public directory to netlify. But this is we're going to create and configure a new site. So my team, and this is Gatsby. Gatsby start a business Fathom. Rolls off the tongue that. So we've got admin URL here. Click on that. It's going to have to open this up in another window here, and we could watch it build, or well, actually it won't build. It's just going to deploy it. So it's just uploading this. We should be able to preview deploy here. Cool. And then if we go to our console and say Fathom, yeah, we've got a Fathom available to us as a function. So we can now start tracking the events we've got on these parts here. But we'll do that in the dev window. So let's just close that, close those tabs, and track these in our dev server. Let's start this. You're on develop. So we're also going to want to be able to stop logging events if we're in like on a dev server. We can do that by just saying if the window.fathom, which is what we just looked at on the deployed site we made, if it just comes back as undefined, then we can just log it as like a fake Fathom click. So we're going to say use effect. I'll just auto import that. I can, cool. Which again is another function. And then this is going to be this empty array at the end, isn't it? Put a comma, empty array. And then we want to say if type of window.fathom is undefined. Excuse me, clearing my throat down the microphone now. Apologies. Okay, so we're going to say window.fathom. And did I close? I closed that window, didn't I? So I'm not sure what we're going to pass into it. But I'm just going to say X, Y, Z. That's going to be a fat arrow for what we are going to return, which is just console log. I'm a fake event, and then just pass back what's being passed in. That'd be X, Y, Z. Cool. We've got a dev server running that we have, so notify. Oh, we've got notify CMS as well. Okay, let's copy that. Oh, I just Control C. Wow. So it's localhost 8000 in our private window we've got running here. So let's just do it on this one. Host 8000, and probably going to be dead because I killed off the server. Cool. So if we pop open our console now and we start clicking around, we should be getting, by refreshing this, make sure I've got to wait for this to finish. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're back up and running again. Let's just restart it, refresh that page. We should be able to click around here. Okay, but oh, they're not putting our index page here on click. Okay, so this should, or about, got an click, got a Fathom Analytics here. We're getting from here. So our log clicks, and we're passing it into our provider, which we are consuming in our layout up here. So I'm presuming that this navbar is a descendant of layout wrapped in it. Don't actually see anything now. Just gonna say that, but I think wait there for a sec. And let's try logging that. Oh. Try to do it on the live site. Really, Scott. Okay. There's localhost 8,000. Apologies. Wow, that's okay. Yo. Right. So get rid of that. I use our function. App is up to date. Okay, here we go. I'm a fake event tracking goal. So that's passed in the ID, the goal which I added in manually, and the value for it. Cool. So now, just a case of adding in these sort of on-click events throughout our app, so we can start tracking things. But we need to be able to do that in Fathom. Have we got any clicks on here? So rename site, no. If I go back to the dashboard here, pick out this site. So go back to the dashboard. You can see that it was I use Firefox, and I'm in the UK, and it looks like it's logged. So what I'm going to do is, with these changes I've made, I'm going to kill my dev server. I'm going to build it again and deploy it to Netlify, and then we can start looking at what we've got on Netlify, and just start using the analytics tool while that's happening. In our dashboard here, you can see I've got the show more data switched over, and we have this goals part. We can start creating goals here. So what I want to do is have about pricing blog, contact us, and then we'll have a submit on there as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5 goals we're going to do. Let's do those now on our dashboard, wherever that's gone. Here it is. So about, save that. We're just going to rattle through these now, because the code you get for them is all we're going to need for passing into our function we've got. So what were they? Sorry, about pricing blog. Save that. Blog. Changes. Contact, was it? Contact us. And then we'll do form submit as well. Cool. Save that. So I want to copy these codes out now into each one of the like the on-click events for these navigation points. So it looks like that is built. Let's go and deploy this to Netlify again. And let's start our dev server again down the bottom here. Cool. So this is our draft URL. Copy this here. Okay. This is looking through the pages, and then you've got showing us our current visitor in the analytics dashboard here. And cool, it all seems to be up and running. So time to sort of plumb in our goals we've got set up here. Let's close that. And we close this, don't need this anymore. Keep that template open. And let's take a look at these, because we want to take these codes off. So let's copy that. Go back to our code, wherever that is. Here. So about, which is that. Save that, and then we're going to want to have one for about pricing, log. So I'm just going to take the codes out for pricing. Sorry, you've got to watch me sort of copy paste this stuff. Okay, yeah, put in a there. Okay, and then the one for, hang on, put these around the wrong way. That's pricing. Select that, copy that, and basically we just need that here. About pricing, and one for blog. Blog. Okie doke. That. And then contact us. Yep, same again. Just put this in here. Not that, Scott. Copy. On click handler. Here. And get code for contact us. This. Here. And some quotes. Cool. And then the last one we want is on the button submit. So while I find this form submit, because I don't think it's going to be in here, I'm going to build our project. So close our dev server, and we'll build again. We'll push it up to Netlify, and then we should start seeing our goals coming through here. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go try and find the form. Form submit. Form submit. Forms. Contact form. Relation schema. Okay. We want the button. Button. Here we go. Type disabled. Okay, cool. So we should just be able to put this. Click in here. And again, just go function. Going to be need to import it again. So I don't need to put any curly braces around this one. It's going to be const. Let's call it Fathom Analytics or FA. That's going to be our user analytics hook. It's been auto imported for us. And again, just down here, I'm going to say FA, and then pass in our code. That. Cool, and that should be that as well. So let's take a look. Is it built? It's built. Let's deploy it. Wait. Silence. Doesn't take that long for this. It's just pushing the files to the CDN here. So if we copy this, and then we go to our browser again, close that, and our built site. So if we click on about, pricing, blog, contact us, we should, I'll refresh this, should have these being captured for us. Here we go. About pricing. This would be 3 or 4 clicks now for each one. There you go. And then form submit, obviously it's going to be nothing because we've not committed that yet. But if we click on contact us, and yo, yo, and then what's the message going to be? Yo, if that's going to work. Okay, I'm guessing this has just got submitted to some Netlify forms submission somewhere. let's just check on here. This so I should have one for contact us. Yep, but the form submit is going to be empty because we haven't implemented that yet. So it's just going to be a case of okay, there, Scott, building it again. And then that should be that. I think that's going to conclude our video. So let's just review what we did. So first up, we needed to let's go with that. We needed to install and configure the Gatsby plugin for Fathom Analytics. We added in our site ID, which we had to configure on the Fathom dashboard, and then we made an analytics provider using the React Context API, and then we just had a hook where we could use the analytics, and we're just going to submit the context to where that hook was being used, and then basically we're just repping the rest of the site or the children which this context provider wraps, the analytics provider wraps, and then we have that as high up the component tree as possible. So then we can have our use analytics available to any child of that. And then we just went around and implemented our log clicks function we made here. This is a really basic example, but basically what we need to do is just use the Fathom function on the window, and then we're going to track our goal, pass in the goal ID, and then any value we want to associate with that as well. I've just got it at 0 because we're not monetizing anything for this. Okay, and then we have a use effect hook, just to let us know if we're using, just so we're not capturing events when we're in using the dev server. Cool, and then we've committed that, and we're still waiting for this to build for form submit here. But when that's going to finish building, we can push it up to Netlify, and then we'll have our analytics available to us on our Fathom Analytics dashboard. So at the moment, it's saying we've got two current users, but I think it should just be one. I've only got this open here, so I'm a bit confused as to why it's showing as 2, but I'll probably have to work that out. Maybe add a description to the video afterwards. But yeah, that's it really. So hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, then please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing to the YouTube channel would really help me out. And yeah, I'm just going to deploy this, and I will put this starter on GitHub, so the code's available, and also the Fathom Analytics dashboard here. You can share this, so it's viewable by everyone. And what I'll do is I'll share this link here on the README of the code, so everyone can take a look at the Fathom Analytics dashboard, see how you like it, and then if you're interested in signing up, forgot about the sell. There's a what's it called? An affiliates link, which you get in here, and with that you get a £10 discount off, $10 discount, sorry, off of your first month's subscription to Fathom Analytics, and I get a split of that as well, just for sharing this out with everyone. And then obviously if you subscribe, then you get to be an affiliate as well, which is all good. So let's just take a look at the finished part here. This, and then we'll just go through submitting that form again. Let's open up a further instance of this. I'm going to deploy this. So contact us. That should knock this up as well. In the dashboard, sorry. Contact. And then we'll do the form submit. Yo, hit submit. Success, much success. And then we should see that on our form submit. Cool. So there you have it. Tracking custom events in Fathom Analytics with Gatsby using React hooks context provider. So thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one. Thanks then. Bye bye.